How do we get ahead of crazy if we don't know how crazy thinks?
All right, the purpose of this video is not to attack Donald Trump. I'm not saying Trump is literally a villain or crazy or anything like that. I'm showing my opinion and other people's opinions about his behavior and possible motives. Now, I won't bore you with Trump's life story, and we won't get into his childhood. It just seems too personal, you know? However, we can say that today he seems pretty childish, like someone who let his past mistakes and personal embarrassments get the better of him, right? He's insecure and overcompensating and has major defense mechanisms.
And you know what they say about men with small hands?
He said I had small hands. Actually, I'm 6'3", not 6'2", but he said I had small hands. They're not small, are they? I never heard that one before. I've always had people say, Donald, you have the most beautiful hands. Right?
In early adulthood, Trump was pretty successful with a lot of his businesses, but he also had many failures and even bankruptcies.
And today, Trump Entertainment Resorts, owners of the Trump Taj Mahal, the Trump Plaza, and the Trump Marina casinos in Atlantic City, filed for bankruptcy protection.
They were probably a bit embarrassing, especially considering how public it all was. In 2017, Trump became president and made more mistakes.
The outbreak of a mystery virus in China.
We have it totally under control.
ER doctors saying we are on the verge of a medical disaster.
It will go away, just stay calm. It will probably go away by itself.
Across this country, two crises have converged. Protests over the death of George Floyd and the pandemic.
And they were even more public now that Trump was president. But listen to his denial and coping.
We still are dealing with 195,000 deaths in the United States right now. When you see that, when you think about that, does that give you any pause? Does it make you think, is there anything I could have done differently? Anything?
I think we could have had 2 million deaths if we didn't close out the country.
So you regret
nothing?
nothing?
No, I think we did a great job. It is going to disappear. It's going to disappear.
But not if we don't take action, correct?
No, I still say it. It's going to disappear, George. We're going to be okay, and it is going away. And it's probably going to go away now a lot faster because of the vaccine. It would go away without the vaccine, George, but it's going to go away a lot faster with the vaccine.
It would go away without the vaccine?
Sure, over a period of time. Sure, with time it goes away.
And many deaths.
We have to give the police back the authority to stop crime.
But how do you stop police killing blacks at 3 times the rate of killing whites?
I can only say this, that the police in this country have done generally a great job. There are crimes, there are problems, and there are chokers. They choke under pressure.
Maybe some of the worst humiliations came from his peers and friends.
Like before all the presidential stuff, right? He was like that friend everybody has that you like to pick on. You know, in person, he's nice, but now he's gone crazy, right? I mean, I can't explain what's happened to him.
By the way, Trump has also been dunked on by his political allies, like, apparently, his current VP pick, J.D. Vance.
Is former President Donald Trump America's Hitler? That's what his current vice presidential running mate questioned in 2016. Here's the text Senator Josh McLaurin says is from J.D. Vance, which reads, quote, I go back and forth between thinking Trump is a cynical expletive like Nixon, who wouldn't be that bad and might even prove useful, or that he's America's Hitler. That text from the now vice presidential candidate J.D. Vance sent to his law school roommate Josh McLaurin, who called the Vance then to the Vance now arguably the biggest flip-flop in American politics.
Trump's colleagues have also said things.
He would talk about, I was reading this blog on the internet that said I didn't sell my property for enough, and I bought it for $3 million and I sold it for $4 million. Isn't that a profit? Isn't that a profit? What do you think? Isn't that a profit? Yeah, that would be $1 million profit. Well, they said I sold it for too little. Okay. Who was this? It was somebody on the internet. Okay. So, you know, he'd be arguing in front of us with perhaps a 18-year-old guy on the internet who thought that Donald Trump should have made more from a real estate deal.
And this is something he really concentrates on.
he seems to
still to this day.
Yeah, obsessed with what anybody says about him anytime.
That's so odd.
But it isn't odd. It's just like Trump. He's insanely insecure with a major inferiority complex.
Like, that's what Trump people are doing right now, going like, I mean, Joe Biden's just as bad. It's like, he isn't. Mike Pence isn't just as bad. Nobody is just as bad as this guy. Like, I really, in the bottom of my heart, believe that this guy has a horrific inferiority complex and an astounding lack of empathy.
Okay, sounds like Trump's villain origin story so far is like this. He had some embarrassing business failures and political fuck-ups, and then he got embarrassed further by people who knew him. And all these embarrassments added up. But now this is the most important part of the story. In my opinion, Trump let the embarrassment get to him and denied his faults and flaws instead of owning them. So he became trapped in a bubble of his own bullshit, including the bullshit he told himself. And I think that's the final page in this villain origin story. Now it seems like Trump is acting like a villain.
There's somebody posted a couple days ago, "Dear President Trump, I'm starting to regret my vote." I mean, I was fine in the beginning. I can overlook, and I'm okay with the blatant racism and the crass sexism and the deranged narcissism and pandering to Nazis and supporting pedophiles and proudly bragging about being a sexual predator and paying your mistress to have an abortion and openly cheating your employees and mocking the disabled and praising murderous dictators and the constant pathological lying, the petty vindictive cruelty, the staggering ineptitude.
Trump acts like a villain with a victim complex, and he wants vengeance on those who publicly embarrassed him.
In another interview, dodging a question about whether he would order the Justice Department to prosecute Manhattan District Attorney Alvin Bragg, who brought the case that led to his conviction, saying, quote, "We're going to see what happens."
He's pretty angry. You've heard his speeches, right? He sounds pretty hateful, too, by the way.
Every time Trump makes a nasty comment about whoever, his popularity goes up, because it's based on hate, hate and fear. And it's unfortunately kind of reminiscent of something unpleasant, Germany, not many years ago.
And he's overcompensating like he was castrated or something.
And you said Harris's crowd sizes were AI and that there weren't people there. There's all kinds of video evidence and people who were there who have proven that false. Can you tell us about why you made that claim?
Well, I can't say what was there, who was there. I can only tell you about ours. We have the biggest crowds ever in the history of politics.
This weird obsession with crowd sizes.
This is the kind of thing insecure, angry people do. They overcompensate and lash out. But some people only see the overcompensating and the lashing, and they misinterpret it as strength. It isn't strength, though. It's weakness masquerading as strength. And it seems like Trump's campaign is a masquerade. It's like it's actually about Trump trying to assert himself. And do you think someone who asserts himself and lashes out like that should be given power? Hey, thanks for watching. Tell me what you think of all that, and subscribe to support this new channel and get weekly content.